I am Dr. Jessie John from the Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we will discuss about the anatomy and the introduction of the anatomy. Anatomy is a branch of biology concerned with the study of the structure of the organism and their parts. Anatomy is a branch of natural science which deals with the structural organizations of living things. It is an old science having its beginnings in prehistoric times. Anatomy is inherently tied to development biology, embryology, comparative anatomy, evolutionary biology, and physiogeny, as there are processes by which anatomy is generated, both over immediate and long term timescales. Anatomy and physiology, which study the structure and function of the organism and their parts respectively, make a natural pair of related disciplines and are often studied together. Human anatomy is one of the essential basic sciences that are applied in medicine. The discipline of anatomy is divided into macroscopic and microscopic. Macroscopic anatomy or gross anatomy is the examination of animals' body parts using unaided eyesight. Gross anatomy also includes the branch of superficial anatomy. Microscopic anatomy involves the use of optical instruments in the study of the tissues of various structures, known as histology, and also in the study of the cells. The history of anatomy is characterized by progressive understanding of the function of the organ and structures of the human body. Methods have also improved dramatically, advancing from the examination of the animals by dissection of carcasses and cadavers to 20th century medical imaging techniques, including X-ray, ultrasound, and magnetic resonance imaging (MRI). Anatomy can be studied using both invasive and non-invasive methods with the goal of obtaining information about the structure and organization of organ and system. Methods used include dissection, in which a body is opened and its organs studied, and endoscopy, in which a video camera equipped instrument is inserted through a small dissection in the body wall and used to explore the internal organ and the other structure. Angiography using X-ray or magnetic resonance angiography are methods to visualize blood vessels. History of anatomy. In 1600 BCE, the Edwin Smith Papyrus, an ancient Egyptian medical text, described the heart, its vessels, liver, spleen, kidneys, hypothalamus, uterus, and bladder, and showed the blood vessels diverging from the heart. The Abbas Papyrus features a treatise on the heart, with vessels carrying all the body's fluids to or from every member of the body. Ancient Greek anatomy and physiology underwent great changes and advances throughout the early medieval world. Over time, this medical practice expanded by a continually developing understanding of the function of the organ and structure symbolic. Phenomenal anatomical observation of the human body were made, which have contributed towards the understanding of the brain, eye, liver, reproductive organs, and the nerve system. The Hellenistic Egyptian city of Alexandria was the stepping stone for Greek anatomy and physiology. Alexandria not only housed the biggest library for the medical records and books of library arts in the world during the time of Greeks, but was also home to many medical practitioners and philosophers. Great patronage of the arts and sciences from the Ptolemy rules helped raise Alexandria up, further rivaling the culture and scientific achievements of the other Greek states too. The anatomy of muscles and skeleton is described in the Hippocratic Corpse, an ancient Greek medical work written by unknown authors. Aristotle described vertebrate anatomy based off animal dissection. Praxagoras identified the difference between arteries and the veins. Also in the 4th century BCE, Herophilus and Erasistratus produced more accurate anatomical descriptions based on vivisection of criminals in Alexandria during the Ptolemaic dynasty. In the 2nd century, Galen of Pergamum, an anatomist, clinician, writer, and philosopher, wrote the final and highly influential anatomy treatise of ancient times. And if in very short, if we say the introduction of anatomy, so we can say that anatomy is the studies of the body parts and their relationship. It is divided into two parts, macroscopic and microscopic anatomy. Macroscopic and we can say gross anatomy. We can say these things that is study of large body structures. These are heart, lungs, and kidneys. And this structure we can see our nude eyes. We need not any microscope, any other equipments to see all these things. So that's why we can say these are macroscopic anatomy. Macroscopic anatomy or gross anatomy further divided into regional anatomy, where all structures in one particular organ, if we see a digestive system, then we'll go for all kind of study of the organs that is involved in digestion. Respiratory system, then we go a study for all type of the organ that is involved in respiration. Systemic anatomy, we study the system by system. Surface anatomy, when we study the internal body structures. Microscopic anatomy, very small structures that cannot be seen with naked eyes. So we use the microscopes. And here these are two: cytology, the study of body cells, and histology, then when we study of body tissue, that is come in histology anatomy. Developmental anatomy, structure change to the body throughout the lifespan, and that is the embryology, development which occur before birth. And these are the anatomy laboratory, and we can see here the various types of model here. And when we study anatomy, we use all these model to understand anatomy better. We can see here the structure, and we can see here the relationship of the other structures too. And we can see here the location of the organ, and we can see if the blood vessels and now we can see here their course too. And we can understand the anatomy in a better way with the help of all these kind of models. You can see here the skeleton. When we study the osteology of the body, then we need all the skeleton to describe the skeleton and bony part of our body. We can see here this model. This is again a laboratory, that is anatomy laboratory, and this is the dissection table. We use the dissection here, and we dissect the cadaver here to understand the anatomy in a better way. Here you can see the students are very occupied in dissecting the cadaver. This is a cadaver. Cadaveric anatomy. This anatomy studies by dissection on dead bodies that have been preserved or embalmed by various chemicals to slow down the process of degradation. This process is usually done by naked eye so that we can observe the microscopic or gross structures. The study done by two approaches, regional anatomy. The body is divided into major parts and each part is studied separately. The parts are upper limb, lower limb, thorax, abdomen, head and neck, brain. Both the external structures and the internal structures are studied. Systemic anatomy. When body is studied according to various systems like the skeletal system, muscular system, vascular system, nervous system, articulatory system, and respiratory, urogenital, endocrine system. In this method, we can have an idea of all the viscera, blood vessel, and other structures related to the system by correlating them with their respective functions. You can see here the cadavers. Living anatomy, the study on the living body, it can either be done by simple method of inspection, percussion, auscultation, or by using specialized instrument to perform endoscopy, colonoscopy, electromyography, etc. Thus, we can not only observe the structures but also how the organ function in both normal and diseased condition. Embryological anatomy, also known as developmental anatomy, which is the study of prenatal development and changes within the individual in their intrauterine life. It helps us understand the formation and importance of various structures within the body. This also helps us understand various congenital anomalies and developmental defects. The developmental history is called an oncogene. Phylogeny is the history of evolution. Studying the embryogenic development of various species helps us understand the phylogenetic relationship between different animals. Histology, also known as microscopic anatomy. This is the study of structures with the help of the microscope. The tissues from various parts of the body are dissected, stained with appropriate regions, and then observed under a microscope. This gives us details of every structure and the characteristics of the cells and tissues of which the structure is composed. You can see here a cadaver that is dissected and we can see internal organs here very clearly. The students are very busy dissecting and studying the cadaver. Surface anatomy, also known as topographic anatomy. This is the study of deeper parts of the body in relation to what can be observed and felt over the skin surface. Surface landmarks of structures are useful in the field of the study. It is very helpful in the case of live patients like in clinical practice and surgical procedure like palpating the artery. Radiographic and imaging anatomy. This is the study of bones and deeper organs by radiography, ultrasound, and CT scans. Bones appears as opaque in X-ray, while organ filled with air only cast a faint shadow. Comparative anatomy, this is the relative study of the structure and the function of these structures of the other animals corresponding to the human body. This is done to observe similarities and difference and help us establish evolutionary relationships. For example, if we observe the limbs of humans and other primates, we can deduce that they evolved from a common ancestor. Applied anatomy is also called as clinical anatomy. This deals with the application of anatomical knowledge to medical and surgical practices. Experimental anatomy is a study of various factors that influence and determine the form, structure, and the function of different parts of the body. Each experiment is targeted to learn more about a single anatomical structure. It is highly useful in sport sciences. Genetics. This is the study of information passed through the chromosomes. This is very helpful in solving parental disputes or predicting the chances of a baby having genetic anomalies. Many diseases like sickle cell anemia are genetically transferred. Genetic anomalies causing Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, etc., can be detected even before the baby is born. Some fascinating facts about anatomy. We use and we see and we study and we know all about the anatomy and some facts that is very real, but some things very funny and fascinating that we do not know. So we should have a glance here. There are various interesting, amazing facts about anatomy, and something we can see here. There has been a myth that is a human heart is located on the side of the chest, but in reality, the heart is neither on the left or the right, but the center of the chest. The brain grows the fastest up to 5 years of age, and the weight of adult human brain is 1.5 kilogram. Corona is the unique part of the entire human body which lacks blood supply and receives its oxygen directly from the air. The right hand side of the human brain controls the left part of the body, whereas the left side of the brain controls the right part of the body. Whose anatomy is used for studying in detail about the different organs and mainly used in endoscopy, angiography, MRI, and X-rays. Human tongue is the strongest muscle and the jawbone is the hardest bone in the human body. Liver is largest external organ in the human body and the average weight of human liver ranges between 1.44 kilogram to 1.66 kilogram. This is the only organ which gives dual blood supply from the hepatic arteries and the hepatic portal. Thank you. Thank you so much.